Hi guys, it's the Voodoo Doll. I hope you all are having a good quarantine. Sorry if this keeps wiggling. I'm using a new device that's connected to my computer because I had some notes and this is my first time using it. So when I move, breathe, cough, it moves. So just bear with me. I hope you guys are safe. I hope everybody's fine and hopefully this quarantine will be over soon. I looked online last week and I got a couple questions, and I was going to do a video today about one that I got that I really liked. The Enchantress of Oshan asked the question. Oshan, she said, working with demons and how do you build relationships with them? So before you can build a relationship with a demon, I feel like you need to actually know what a demon is. And a lot of people, especially if they're raised in Christianity, have the idea that demons are fallen angels, and that's not correct. Demons are not fallen angels. They're not. To go back to move forward, let me just give you a little tiny bit of information that I kind of uncovered years ago. About 5 years ago, I discovered a man by the name of Mike Heiser, and he's an amazing author, and he has a book called The Unseen Realm, and I wish all of you would read it. I'm going to put the link below, the information below, and unfortunately, because every damn thing is on the internet now, I don't have a physical book. All I have is my Kindle, so that sucks. From now on, I'm only going to buy physical books because when you're in situations like this, quarantine and whatever, you don't even know if you're going to have electricity. But the way that they're playing around here, so you know, you would have lose access to everything that you have. So make sure you buy physical books. Unlike my dumb ass that only has a Kindle. So I'm going to read some things from my Kindle, and I have some notes here for you from that book. So people always think that fallen angels are demons. So in the Bible, and I'm not a Christian and I have never read the Bible from front to finish, so let me just say that, but I do love theology, and in that love and that quest for knowledge, I've studied quite a little bit without having to read things in their entirety. In the Bible, you have the angels that sin, and they come down and they have sex with human women. We know that. They get thrown out of heaven. Okay, and when they get thrust out of heaven, they go to a different place. Okay, nothing says anything about them becoming demons. It's misconstrued. This is what Mike Heiser's book was about, and it was so awesome because he goes to Mesopotamia and he starts researching books that are found there, and he comes across the story of the, hold on a second, I think it's is it Apakalu or... hold on, Apkallu, I want to say it right, Apkallu. So the Apkallu are the watchers in a sense. They are angels as well. So these Apkallu, when they come down and they start teaching civilization, teaching secrets and things to humans, and then they start having sex with humans, their offspring are basically giants, and they are called Apkallu as well. There's no differentiation between the fathers, who are the angels, and then the children. They're called Apkallu. But in Christianity, you have the angels, you know, who are the sons of God, and then you have the children of the daughters of man, and they are called the Nephilim. The Nephilim means giant. So you have the Nephilim, who are the babies, their children, they're half-breeds. So it's the Nephilim that start wreaking havoc on earth and causing discontent with God. And he starts to devise a plan to say he wants to eradicate them because they're corrupting human beings, and that they're kind of, you know, an abomination in a way because they were not supposed to be born anyway. And that tells you a lot about the angels. People, I think, misconstrued an angel is. I believe that angels are just beings. They're intellectual beings, and they're not perfect, because if they were perfect, it would not say in your Christian Bible, if you are a Christian, that they looked upon the daughters of man and found them attractive and said, let us go and let us breed with them. And that was directly against God. So what does that tell you about them? They have lust. They're horny. They have sexual desires. Not to quote Rob Zombie, but that's more human than human. They're human. We're human. They're the same. As above, so below. They're the same. They have the same struggles, the same free will. They have free will. Angels sin. So anyhow, their children are the Nephilim. So when in the Christian faith, God conducts a flood and he wipes these beings out. But in the Mesopotamian articles or books or whatever they are, Book of Enoch and all this, some of them survive. And when they survive, this is the Nephilim, they survive, they start to reestablish civilization because they're extremely intelligent, they're strong, they're better than human beings, and they're the ones that actually reestablish civilization and even create Babylon. So looking at these two things side by side and not saying one is right and one is wrong, Mike Heiser takes information from both and constructs a picture for you to kind of tell you who these beings are. So I said all that to say this. When God is having a conversation with Gabriel, and this is in the book of Enoch, he tells Gabriel this, and I'll just read it for you. So at the end, when he decides he's going to destroy him, he tells Gabriel, "Proceed against the bastards and the reprobates and against the children of adultery, and destroy the children of adultery, and expel the children of the watchers from among the people." The children of the watchers are the Nephilim. "From among the people, and send them against one another, so that they may be destroyed in the fight for the length of days they have not. And when they and all their children have battled with each other, and when they have seen the destruction of their beloved ones, bind them for 70 generations underneath the rocks of the ground until the day of their judgment." That's the watchers he's talking about. Those are the fallen angels. Bind them for 70 generations underneath the rocks of the ground until the day of their judgment and of their consummation, until the eternal judgment is concluded. So that's what he tells the watchers, for the watchers. But now the giants, now he's talking about the Nephilim. "But now the giants who are born from the union of the spirits and the flesh shall be called evil spirits upon the earth, because their dwelling shall be upon the earth and inside of the earth. Evil spirits have come out of their bodies, because from the day that they were created from the holy ones, they became the watchers. Their first origin is the spiritual foundation. They will become evil upon the earth and shall be called evil spirits." Those are the Nephilim. Now, in the Christian faith, God sent the angels into Tartarus. He bound them in chains and sent them to Tartarus. He didn't say anything about them being demons. He sent them into Tartarus. They're bound. They're not even able to walk around. They're inside of the earth in hell in Tartarus. The Nephilim are not bound. They're disembodied, meaning their body is gone because they've been drowned. He killed them. But their spirit is on the earth and below the earth. So they are free to roam. And in that, the word demon has been created and attached to it. But that is, in my belief, and Mike Heiser's belief, Dr. Mike Heiser, I thought it was amazing because that's what I feel too. That is a demon. A demon is a Nephilim. They're half-breeds. They are disembodied spirits. So when wanting to work with a demon, you have to know their origin and what they are. So you have this, if you believe this is, giving you a good example of the Christian faith and the Mesopotamian books of what a demon is. And then you also have Egregores, and I probably have said that wrong, Egregore. An egregore is basically a collective consciousness. It's like a thought, artificial intelligence, basically. I'll read you the definition of it. It's a thought form, and I love thought forms. So you have the definition here is an egregore is an occult concept representing a thought form or collective group mind, an autonomous psychic entity made up of and influencing the thoughts of a group of people. So you have the Christian demons, the egregore of that. So you have two different things. You have basically fact and fiction, and it's up to you to decide which one you want to believe. and you can work with either one, but the most important thing is figuring out where you stand. If you want to believe that demons are fallen angels, then you should believe it vehemently. Full 100% belief into it. And that would be you drawing the power from that egregore and being able to do great magic with the power of that egregore, if you believe that. But if you do not believe that, and you believe that demons are not fallen angels, and they are the Nephilim and they're half-breeds, then you would go with that belief and learn as much about it as you can. Believe in it vehemently. You don't stray from that belief, and be able to pull that energy out and use that in your magic. But you have to decide which one you believe in. You have to know thyself first before you can start reaching out and taking the energy and the assistance of these two life forces, because they both exist. Neither one is right and neither one is wrong. They both exist. But you can't not know where you stand on the subject, because if you don't, then you don't know what to start studying. Because when you study something, you tap into that consciousness and that frequency, and you start to pull it towards yourself. So if you're wanting to actually pull the egregores towards yourself and using that power and having that reach out to you and tapping into that consciousness, you're going to have to study that, which would be the Christian concept of demons. You know, that Lucifer is a demon, this is a demon. You would go that route. I don't believe that. You know, there's a lot of books and information and things written on, and the demon Azazel and the demon Shemyaza. They're not demons, they're angels. Azazel is an angel. He is not a demon, he's an angel. So I could see him being called the crown prince of hell. Yeah, that would be, I guess, appropriate, because he was cast down into Tartarus and he's bound. So the king in his realm, sure, absolutely. But he's not a demon. A demon is a Nephilim. And Azazel is pure. He's an angel. He's not a half-breed. He's pure blood. And he's an angel. So when dealing with Azazel, for me, I come to him at that aspect of knowing that he is an angel and that he is a divine being and not an abomination, a half-breed made from angels and humans. So that is how I work with Azazel. I never refer to him as a demon. And as far as other demons, the names of demons, if you read the Lesser Key of Solomon, I believe that those are egregores. So when I'm working with any of the demons listed in the Lesser Key of Solomon, I'm working with egregores. So that energy is what is in the Lesser Key of Solomon. I believe that person believed wholeheartedly that these people are demons, or these beings are demons, and he was able to do great magic with that. I do not believe that Azazel is a demon. So no matter what book what book he's written in as a demon, I read the book, I get the information, but I don't refer to him as a demon. I work with him as an angel. So you need to figure out where you stand with that. And when you want to start drawing and connecting and creating a relationship with these beings, after you know where you stand, then you start reading up about them. Get a book that lists tons of names, the Lesser Key of Solomon for one. Read about them. Read about each individual demon, and read about something that you're interested in. If you are interested in money, then figure out which demon is cited to have information about money. If you're interested in alchemy or science, read in there what their attributes are, and then pick that one particular one out and start studying them. Read everything you can on that entity, every single thing on that entity, and they will begin to connect with you. It's almost the same as if you're single and you decide you want to start dating again, and all of a sudden everybody and their mom is sending you dick pics. all of a sudden it's the worst thing ever. It's the same thing with them. They're not going to send you dick pics, of course, maybe, but they will start to connect. And when they start to connect, then you start building more relationships, like Azazel, building relationship with him. Very simple. Your paper grocery bags, okay? Save them. When you feel like you start to have a connection with something, write their sigil down. Learn their sigil and have their sigil out. Uncharged, meaning there's no blood on it. This is just a permanent marker and a paper bag. And have this out. You don't have to have an official altar, but if you do, maybe put this on your altar. And believe me, the energy will start to connect and you'll figure out what they like. Do they like wine? Do they like gems? Do they like gold? Do they like flowers? Do they, what do they like? What type of scent do they like? Those things are written down, but you should just discover it for yourself. And then maybe put a couple flowers or put something on this and next to a little glass of wine on your altar and do that. And when you are ready to start working with them and actually charging the sigil, if you decide that you're ready to start doing that, then you would draw it in blood. So that opens and enlivens the sigil. If you're trying to do an evocation and maybe talking to that entity, you would want to open the sigil. You'd want to charge it, open the gate. So here I have, let's say Hecate. I just grabbed a couple of them. This is charged and this is open. This is blood. It's drawn in blood. This is my blood. So if I were doing an evocation, I would probably put fresh blood on this and lay it down, light my candles, just meditate. And I would speak out loud. I start speaking out loud, asking them, not for things. You don't want to immediately go in and start asking for things, but what do you like? And listen in your head for the answer. You may hear something like Jasmine and you're thinking, oh, I'm just, I'm superimposing that in my mind. I'm just thinking that, but write it down. Write it down. And ask another question. What day should I call on you? Tuesday. Okay, then write that down. Don't second guess yourself, because the more you do these exercises, the more you'll realize that it really is an answer, and it's not you. You're not, it's not you being crazy. It really is an answer. You are getting that connection to the being. This is Lucifer's sigil, and I spilled damn candle wax on it, and I ruined it. But this is also his sigil, drawn and charged in blood. It's just a little piece of cardboard. Super easy. Use it for a ritual, and then usually if I bury the ritual, I will put this in there and bury it with it. But yeah, that's the basis of how you would want to start. But you really want to know these beings inside and out. You would think of these beings as like you would think about a person. You wouldn't randomly call up a king or a queen or even the president and start asking them, oh, I'm a little short on rent, you think you can help me out? Like, you wouldn't do that. So you wouldn't do that with these beings either. You would get to know them, start giving things to them without asking for anything in return. I just want to know about you. What do you like? Incense. Okay, you like incense, and you go out and get some incense and light that and start, leaving offerings for them, studying about them, learning their ends. A lot of them have demonic ends or chants. Learning how to chant those, repeating it in your mind, repeating it out loud, and working forward in your evocations with them. Start out by lighting your candles maybe 1 week and just, a lot of you will probably be very scared, but drawing this sigil and leaving it on your altar, and then just kind of meditating and asking questions back and forth. That's just very simple for that week. And then the next week, maybe lighting your candles again, putting this out, some incense, some wine, and then starting to recite their ends and their chants, and getting into state that way, meditating, and asking your questions again. And when you start to work with them, don't be alarmed if things start happening in your home. The first time I decided that I would like to call upon Lucifer, I drew his sigil and I left it out, and I said, okay, I lit my candles and did a little meditation, snuffed my candles out, and I decided I was going to go to bed, and I heard a loud snap and saw a huge light streak like lightning, basically. My room lit up like lightning. It was a snap, and then I had my eyes closed. Through my eyelids, I saw light. It was that simple, and it was that fast. It scared the shit out of me, and the hair on my arms was standing up straight. Probably the hair on my lips, too. Everything was standing up straight because it scared the hell out of me, but I knew what it was. And that was rewarding. It's like, wow, that really happened. You know, this being is communicating with me, and I've tapped into that energy current. Like I said, whether you believe it's an actual entity or it's a thought form, a fallen angel, a demon, whatever it is, that's for you to decide. But you have tapped into that consciousness when things start happening and manifesting for you. The first time that I decided to work with Astaroth and do love work with Astaroth, Astaroth decided to let his or her presence, because people, you know, say it's he or she, kind of unisex energy. I say she. Let her presence be known. I came outside of work and I was catching the train at the time, and I walked to the train station, and in front of the train tracks, I thought, oh wow, that's strange. There was 2 huge, beautiful red rose petals, and they were the biggest, most velvety rose petals I had ever seen. I said, wow, someone lost those gorgeous petals off of that beautiful rose. I wonder how big that rose was in real life. It's just, you know, the petals were immaculate. They were beautiful. I get on the train, I do a transfer downtown, and I train to my neighborhood. This is an hour exchange. An hour later, I'm all the way on the other side of town. I come out of the train station, and as soon as I come up the steps and on the street level, there is a huge red rose petal. Velvety and beautiful, and the same size as the other ones that were left on the other train platform. You know, I'm not saying it's not possible that that person didn't take the same route and 2 transfers as I did and ended up coming out the same exit and the same subway platform in Los Angeles and Hollywood as I. It's quite possible, but I highly doubt it. And I saw that as a sign, and I said, okay, you're communicating with me, and now I understand that that is how I know you. Rose petals. I know your presence. Rose petals. And I didn't work with Astaroth for maybe a few months. And then the next time I did a ritual with Astaroth, and I walked outside, and I was walking down the street again on Hollywood, and I came past, gosh, it's the Egyptian Theater, and in front of the trash can, there was a huge red rose petal. And I thought, okay, you know, I see you, I get it. We're communicating, and that is how I came to know Astaroth and have that direct link with Astaroth. And when you start to, Astaroth Astarte, same entity, when you start to have these connections with these beings, your connection is instant. You don't have to go light candles and chant ins and, you know, and meditate and do all that. You can instantly kind of tap into it and say, I need your help. I need this, or can you help me with this? Can you do this? And instantly the exchange is instant. No candles needed, because really all candles and incense and all that are physical things to help you get into the mental state that you need to be. But all of this is mental. Magic is mental. You don't need candles. You don't need anything to perform magic. It is just a physical aid to help you get into the mental state that you need to be, the frequency that you need to be operating on to make these things manifest. So after you do establish that connection, it's much easier to connect with them instantly, and the connection becomes stronger, and you'll start to hear more. I wanted to buy a chalice for Astaroth, and I said, well, you know, I'm going to get this little one. It was like a little silver one, and I heard, make it gold, you know, and I said, wow, okay, so it's gold. And I have a gold chalice there for her, and that's hers, and I don't put anything else in it for anyone, and that's that. And that has been the case with every energy or demon that I have come to associate with. So when I put on my website and I say, oh, the demon Astaroth or the demon this, I am putting down, you know, basically demon, for lack of a better term for most people when they contact me. I want to work with the demon this, and I'm not going to tell them the whole story of the Nephilim and all that type of crap. I say, okay, sure, this demon, I no problem, you know, connecting and doing that ritual for using that energy. But you have to just figure out what you believe. You know, I work with both. I work with the egregores of these entities, and then I work with the actual entity. So just do some research. I think you should really read that book. I hope it makes sense, everything that I said, and it's not too crazy. But Mike Heiser is amazing, amazing, amazing artist. He's so intelligent. He's so smart. He's so well learned, and just blew my mind away with all the things that he presented. I don't have dogma to shed, so a lot of people may read it and they may get argumentative when they read it, but I don't let cognitive dissonance stop me from learning. If I read something and it challenges what I knew and what I thought I knew, I allow it to change me, and I allow myself to say, wow, I've changed my point of view, and I've evolved, and I'm not mad about that, you know, somebody has changed my point of view. You're supposed to be changed. You know, you're not supposed to remain the same. And that's why I hate religion so much, because this is this, and it's supposed to be this, and nothing else in between. And human beings are just way more complex than that. So I will link that book down below, but that is how you start establishing relationships with demons. That's what I believe demons to be. That is my spiel on that. Really kind of research, maybe even write down categories of what you think in your life is an egregore, and what you think in your life is not an egregore and is an actual entity, and separating the two. Because I tell you what, egregores don't have consciousness. They don't have a concept of self. They don't know that they don't exist or exist. It's just the energy that people have put into it and created. But entities do. They know that they exist. So you can try that with Azazel if you want to, and treating him as if he is an egregore, and he will correct you quite quickly. He's a beautiful being, by the way. I don't know if you are familiar with Azazel. Azazel is the amazing being that gave women the art of deception makeup. He taught women how to hide their looks, how to beautify their eyelids with coal, with black charcoal, lipstick, wigs, hair dye, and he also gave men the art of war and taught how to make swords. So he is amazing. Every woman actually should have an altar and thanks to Azazel, because if not, we would be running around here not looking like this, I tell you that. So that's that. I hope you're all safe. Please, if you have any questions, go ahead and ask me. And I also just want to know what you think. You know, have you ever heard of egregore? I'm sure I've probably said it 75 different times or different ways. If you do, which ones do you believe are egregores? Which ones do you believe are entities? And have you read his book? His name of the book is called... oh, hold on just one second. And my computer died. Of course it did. I believe it's called The Unearthed Realm. I'm going to put it below. But please check it out, and please buy the physical book, not the Kindle thing. The physical book, okay? Stay safe, and I will talk to you guys soon. Thank you.